Hi, I'm Matt.
And I'm John.
Welcome to our series on the 2024 zoning amendments. We thank you for tuning in and hope you find this information extremely helpful. Let's take a look at proposed zoning amendment number 2. Amend the use table by updating names of certain uses for clarity. Change multifamily dwellings not exceeding 6 units from a special exception to a permitted use within the multifamily zoning districts. Allow single-family attached dwellings up to 4 units by special exception in the HC and ICD, and as permitted use in the SFR, the MFR, the Ag Zone, CI, and VC. And amend the provisions referencing parking for no more than, less than, or equal to 125% of the minimum parking requirements to eliminate the internal conflict. Also, add footnotes of the tables of area dimensions to refer to Article 9 of the Plymouth Subdivision Regulations of lot size regulations that apply in open space residential developments. Now let's hand this over to John, and he'll help to explain this in a little more detail to us.
Thank you, Matt.
You're welcome.
Wow, that was quite a mouthful. So, to work our way through this quite complex language, first of all, you'll notice there are a lot of acronyms in there: HC, ICD, SFR. These are all the names of various zones within our town here in Plymouth. For example, SFR would be single-family residential, MFR, multifamily residential, VC, village commercial, our downtown area. And so we're talking about changing permitted uses in these various parts of town. If you're looking for more information on the definitions of these various acronyms, you can look in our zoning ordinance for that information. So what are we talking about here? So we added single-family attached as a definition if zoning amendment number 1 passes. So here we're talking about, well, if it's now a defined form of housing, we need to somehow regulate that housing. So we're adding it as a permitted use in particular parts of town, including single-family residential, for example. And so that's part of what this amendment does. Matt also mentioned a footnote to open space residential development. What this basically entails is something we'll explain more in a separate video that has to do with moving our open space residential development guidelines and regulations from the zoning ordinance to our subdivision regulations. And lastly, there's some talk about parking regulations, and we'll see parking comes up in a few of these zoning amendments. In this case, there's some confusion as the ordinance has developed over the years, where there's a conflict in the ordinance that would seem to make it almost impossible to develop parking without getting a variance. And we're trying to change that, to clarify the language, and to clarify what's possible in a reasonable way in the town of Plymouth. Thank you.
Thanks, John. If you have any further questions regarding proposed amendment number 2, please contact the Planning Board or Planning Department for answers to those questions. We look forward to seeing you on proposed amendment number 3. Thank you for tuning in.